Hello, Matthew Armstrong here, and I'm just making this video to give you a quick update on my progress to achieving 30 pounds of muscle eating a vegan diet and just training at home using minimal equipment in 100 days. So that's the challenge: 30 pounds of muscle in 100 days eating a vegan diet and training at home with minimal equipment. And today is day 50, so halfway through the challenge, and I have to say things are going well. Already added 22 pounds to my frame, so on schedule, even though I did have like a number of challenges over the past 50 days, you know, with my back in particular, a lot of like energy blockages and things, stiffness, all sorts of things. Some days I just laid out in bed, some weeks I couldn't train at all for the whole week. But generally been doing 2 training sessions a week, been doing about 45 minutes of exercise per week, weight training and body weight training as well. And that's all that's needed, really, you know, because I'm, even with the limited amount of training that I've been doing, I've still been getting great results. And I've known for years that it seemed to be like the less I did, the better it got. I remember years ago I was training six days a week in the gym, each time at least 2 hours, so that's 12 hours, 12 to 15 hours I was spending in the gym every week. And then this when I was 17 years old, and I was getting very minimal gains. And then the powerlifting coach came over to me and he said, "You're lifting pretty heavy weights there for a junior. Do you want to try out in the powerlifting competition?" And I said, "Well, you know, when is it?" And he said, "Well, 6 weeks from now." I said, "Well, I haven't done powerlifting before. 6 weeks isn't long enough to practice for it." And he said, "Well, your strength's pretty good already. You just need to work on your form because the judges are quite strict." So for those 6 weeks, I cut it down to training 3 days a week, and I just went in and did my bench press, did my squat, did my deadlift, and I just worked on form on doing that. So I basically cut it down from 12 to 15 hours a week in the gym to 3 hours a week in the gym. And suddenly in 6 weeks, I made all these gains, all these muscular gains, all these strength gains. I just couldn't believe it. I was scratching my head at the time. And I found, like, even now, I've had to cut it down even more, and my gains have been amazing. For 22 pounds in 50 days, most of it is muscle. Put on a little layer of fat, but that's to be expected when you're bulking up, when you're looking to gain muscle. You've got to put on a little bit of fat, and it really helps. So I've been doing that. And I've just made a quick video of some of the poses I've done. So I'm not doing this because I'm a poser. I'm just showing you these poses just to demonstrate what is actually possible and what you can actually achieve as well. Just following the same sort of protocol as I've followed, and just incorporating the same sort of beliefs. And just here you can see that, trying to find some good light to actually see it, you can actually see, you know, there's very little fat being put on the body and quite a lot of muscular definition as well. So here's some better light where you can see the definition that I've still got, as well as adding on the 22 pounds onto the frame. So maybe 2 pounds of fat and 20 pounds of muscle, which will all go to muscle in the next coming weeks. Yep, looking good. So as you can see from that, you know, very little fat there, just mainly muscle that I've kind of bulked up on. And just to give you the measurements, at the start, my calves were 13.5 inches, and now they're 14.25. And my thigh was 18 inches, now 21.5. So, you know, that's quite a big difference in the thigh. My thighs have really got a big sweep on the sides of them. They've really got very, very strong. Feels really good how strong they've got. My waist was 28 inches. It's now 30.5. So my waist has only gone on 2.5 inches. Chest was 36 inches, now 41.5. So that's a big difference on the chest. Neck was 12.5, now it's 15 inches. So the neck's really gone up, as well as the trapezius muscles have grown. That's bulked up. Bicep was 11.5 inches, 11.5 inches, and now 13.25 inches on the bicep. My forearm was 10 inches, and now 10.75 inches. So My weight was 62 kilograms, now 71.7 after 50 days, or in pounds, I was 136 pounds, now 158 pounds. So that is 22 pounds gained in 50 days. So it's almost half a pound a day. Yeah, almost. So that's quite a rapid increase, and that, like I said, eating a vegan diet, a lot of raw, a lot of juices, smoothies, and then also eating lentils, brown rice, chickpeas, things like that as well. So on target, what I want to do over the next 34 days is to gain another 13 to 15 pounds of weight over the next 34 days. That's my target. And then for the last 16 days, I'm just going to go completely 100% raw, cut out the brown rice and the lentils, and then that will strip any fat off my body. So hopefully, well, I'm pretty sure that will give me my target of 30 pounds muscle gain in 100 days, which will bring me back down to 5% body fat, which I was at the start. And then that will be that goal achieved, that quest to do that achieved, and then also dispelling the myths that it cannot be done. Because years ago, when I was 14 years old, I started going down the gym, and I was vegetarian, and all the guys in the gyms laughed at me and said, "You're never going to make any gains. It's not going to happen." Actually, I was 15 years old. They said it's never going to happen. You need to eat red meat, and they started telling me everything I needed to eat, and it was like all meats. It was like three meals a day with meat in it, and so I believed them because they were the big tough guys in the gym. So I started following that, and I started eating meat again. And that's what a lot of people believe. A lot of people around the world believe that you need the meat, you need this, you need that, especially to gain muscle and stuff like that. You need the protein from the meat, and you don't. And this is what I'm doing now, is sharing it with you that you don't need it. And if you want to gain muscle, you want to get strong, you don't need the meat, you don't need the dairy, you don't need the eggs, which I thought for years, I still thought for years I needed the eggs, and I ate raw eggs for years, but you don't. You know, you can do it without that. But one of the questions that I got asked recently was a guy who's vegan said he was losing a lot of weight and finding it hard to put on. And I know that's the same for a lot of people. And when I first really cleaned up my diet and took all the meat, all the dairy, all the eggs out of it, then I got quite skinny for a while. But what you got to do is you got to cleanse. You have to cleanse your system. You have to cleanse the bowels. You have to get them very, very clean. So you have to do juice fast. You do water fast. You do different various sort of cleanses, and with herbs and things, and that really cleans out the system. You can do different colon cleanses with herbs, really cleans out the bowels, because what a lot of people have is absorption issues, where the nutrients doesn't absorb into the muscles, and then they lose a lot of weight no matter how much they eat. Or there's different labels put on it, irritable bowel syndrome, different labels put on it like that. But basically, it's the bowels not working properly because they're toxic. There's too much waste in there, too much fermentation, too much acid in there, too much putrefaction, and so you got to clean it out. But once you clean it out, like I have done, then the nutrients just boom, they get absorbed into the muscles, and you can build. So make sure you're very, very clean first, and then start to build. And with your training, you have to train intense. You have to do muscular exercises to build the muscles, so when you eat the food, it goes straight to fueling the muscles to build them. And you have to eat a lot. You have to eat a lot, maybe double the calories that you might be eating right now. You have to stuff yourself if you want to build yourself and get big in a short period of time. Especially, you have to eat until you're almost, oh, I can't eat anymore. And your basic 3 meals a day isn't going to do it either. You're going to need to eat 6 to 8 meals a day, smaller meals. And that way you're constantly fueling the muscles, you're constantly keeping yourself in an anabolic state, not going into a catabolic state. And that's how you do it. And in some upcoming videos, I'm going to show you some more of the workout routines that I've been doing, and show you what it is to train intensely, and also exactly what I'm eating on a daily basis, because I know there's some questions about that. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm eating each day to do that. But I have to say, the biggest thing is up here. Our body is a manifestation of our mind, and we can shape it any way we want, as long as we start to believe it, we visualize it, we start to take the actions to create it. Actions, very important. Okay, so make sure you tune in next time, And make sure you subscribe, comment, leave questions, share the video, favorite the video. It's always a pleasure. My name is Matthew Armstrong. See you next time.